Commander Jack Wilson stood at the large viewing window of Galactic Union Station 7, watching the stars. His tall figure cast a long shadow across the polished floor. 20 years in space had given him sharp eyes and a serious face. Right now, those eyes were filled with worry. "Commander, you need to see this," said Officer Anna Reed as she rushed into the room. Her normally calm voice shook slightly. She handed him a data pad with red flashing alerts. Jack took the pad and read quickly. His eyes grew wide. "This can't be right. Check it again." "We did, sir, 3 times. Anna pointed to the numbers on the screen. "The dangerous fleet is gone. All 57 ships, they just vanished." The dangerous fleet was the most feared group of warships in the outer systems. For over 30 years they had attacked trading ships, destroyed small colonies, and slipped away before anyone could catch them. They were brutal, efficient, and always one step ahead of the Galactic Union forces. Jack walked to the main control panel and pressed several buttons. A large map of the galaxy appeared in the center of the room. Tiny dots of light showed the last known locations of the dangerous fleet. "Where were they last seen?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. Anna touched the map, making it zoom in on a small yellow star. "Here, sir, near the Sol system." Jack frowned. The Sol system was considered unimportant by the Galactic Union. It had only one inhabited planet called Earth. The humans there were thought to be primitive. They had basic space travel, but nothing close to the faster-than-light ships used by the rest of the galaxy. The Union classified Earth as a Level 2 civilization, not yet ready for official contact. Why would the dangerous fleet go there? Jack wondered aloud. There's nothing of value in that system. The door opened again, and 3 more officers entered. Tom Reed, the tech specialist and Anna's brother. Maria Torres, the team's xenobiologist, and Ben Stone, head of security. They all looked serious. "I called an emergency meeting," Anna explained. "This is too important to wait." Jack nodded and turned to the others. "The dangerous fleet has vanished near Earth. I need ideas." Ben spoke first, his deep voice filling the room. "Maybe they were destroyed. A natural space event, perhaps?" Tom shook his head. "Not likely. We'd see debris, energy signatures, something. But there's nothing. It's like they were erased. Or hidden," Maria suggested. "But Earth doesn't have that kind of technology. They're still using chemical rockets and basic ion drives." Jack walked back to the window, thinking. Something didn't add up. 57 warships don't just disappear. "What does the Council say?" Maria asked. "The Council doesn't know yet," Jack replied. "I wanted our team to assess the situation first." Anna looked surprised. "Sir, protocol requires immediate—" "I know the protocol, Officer Reed." Jack cut her off. "But if we tell the Council now, they'll send a full battle group to Earth. If I'm wrong, we risk exposing ourselves to a pre-contact civilization. If I'm right, well, I want to know what we're dealing with first." The room fell silent as everyone considered his words. "You want to go to Earth," Ben said. It wasn't a question. Jack nodded. "Small team. Quick reconnaissance. We go in quiet, find out what happened to the fleet, and report back. The Council won't approve," Tom warned. "Then we don't ask them," Jack said firmly. "This mission is off the books. Volunteers only." He looked around the room, meeting each person's eyes. No one looked away. "I'm in," Ben said first, crossing his arms. "Me too," added Maria. Anna and Tom exchanged glances. "We're with you, Commander," Anna said for both of them. Jack felt a small weight lift from his shoulders. He had the best team in the Union, smart, loyal, and brave. If anyone could solve this mystery, they could. "Good. We leave in 6 hours. Pack light, and tell no one where we're going." 3 days later, their small scout ship approached the outer edge of the Sol system. They had traveled faster than any Earthship could detect, and their advanced cloaking technology made them invisible to primitive radar systems. "Scan the system," Jack ordered, as they passed the gas giant called Neptune. Tom's fingers flew over the control panel. 8 planets. Standard star, nothing unusual, and wait. He frowned and adjusted something on his screen. That's odd. What is it? Jack asked, moving to look over his shoulder. I'm picking up energy readings from Earth and its moon that shouldn't be there. Tom pointed to spikes on his display. If Earth is a level 2 civilization, these readings make no sense. They're using energy in ways that, well, frankly, in ways that we don't even fully understand. Jack felt his heart beat faster. Could it be the dangerous fleet? Maybe, Tom said, not sounding convinced. But these patterns look different, more advanced, actually. As they moved closer to Earth, passing the red planet Mars, their sensors began to pick up more unusual readings. Commander, Anna called from her station. I'm detecting thousands of small objects in orbit around Earth. Satellites? Jack asked. Too many to be just satellites, she replied. And they're moving in strange patterns. Ben, who had been quiet until now, suddenly pointed at his security screen. Something's approaching us fast. That's impossible, Tom said. Nothing on Earth should be able to detect us, let alone... A flash of light filled their viewports, temporarily blinding everyone. When Jack could see again, he felt his blood run cold. Their ship was surrounded by sleek, black vessels that had appeared from nowhere. The ships were unlike anything in the Union fleet. Smoother, with no visible engines or weapons, yet somehow projecting an aura of terrible power. Our cloaking system is down, Tom reported, his voice tight with tension. All systems are being held in some kind of energy field. A voice came through their communication system, speaking perfect Union Standard language. Galactic Union scout ship, this is Captain Lisa Miller of the Earth Defense Force. Your vessel has entered restricted space without authorization. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Jack looked at his team, seeing his own shock reflected in their faces. Earth wasn't primitive at all. Somehow the humans had fooled the entire Galactic Union. Open a channel, Jack told Anna. When she nodded, he spoke clearly. This is Commander Jack Wilson of the Galactic Union. We're on a peaceful mission investigating the disappearance of ships in this region. There was a pause before the reply came. Commander Wilson, we know why you're here. The ships you're looking for are in our custody. Please cooperate and no harm will come to you or your crew. Jack's mind raced with questions. How had Earth captured the most dangerous fleet in the galaxy? Why had they hidden their true technology level? And most importantly, what other secrets was this primitive planet keeping? We'll cooperate, Jack said finally. He had no choice. Their small scout ship was completely at the mercy of these unexpected Earth forces. As a docking tube extended from the nearest Earth ship, Jack prepared his team. Stay alert, follow my lead, and say nothing about the Union Council. Something tells me we've stumbled onto a secret much bigger than missing ships. The airlock opened, revealing their first look at Earth's true face, and the beginning of a discovery that would shake the foundations of the galaxy. The airlock hissed open. Commander Jack Wilson stood straight, hiding his nervousness as 5 figures entered their ship. 4 wore black uniforms and carried strange weapons that glowed faintly blue. The 5th person, a woman with short brown hair and confident eyes, stepped forward. Commander Wilson, I'm Captain Lisa Miller, Earth Defense Force. Her voice was firm but not unfriendly. Welcome to Earth space, though I wish the circumstances were different. Jack kept his face neutral. Captain Miller, I must say this is unexpected. The Galactic Union believes Earth to be a level 2 civilization. Lisa's mouth curved into a small smile. Yes, we know what the Union thinks of us. That's been useful. She motioned to her guards, who lowered their weapons slightly. Your team will come with us. We need to talk somewhere more secure. Ben, the security chief, moved closer to Jack. Commander, I advise caution. We don't have much choice, Ben, Jack replied quietly. He turned back to Lisa. We'll come peacefully, but I need assurances my crew will be safe. You have my word, Lisa said. This isn't a capture. It's a conversation that's been a long time coming. Jack nodded to his team, and they followed the Earth soldiers through the docking tube into the black ship. The inside was nothing like Jack expected. The walls seemed to flow like liquid metal, and there were no visible control panels or screens. The air felt charged with energy. Tom whispered, "This technology, it's beyond anything in the Union." "Keep that to yourself for now," Jack warned. They were led to a large room with a round table. The walls were transparent, giving them a clear view of Earth below. The blue and green planet looked peaceful from this distance, completely at odds, with the advanced warships surrounding them. "Please sit," Lisa said, gesturing to the chairs. As they sat, a holographic display appeared above the table, showing the solar system. "I know you have questions. I'll answer what I can." Jack leaned forward. "Let's start with the obvious. How has Earth hidden its true technology level from the Galactic Union for so long?" Lisa touched the hologram, and it zoomed in on Earth. "Advanced shielding technology. Everything we build beyond Level 2 standards is hidden behind energy fields that absorb and redirect scanning beams. To outside observers, we appear to be struggling with basic rocket science. But why?" asked Maria, unable to contain her curiosity. "Why pretend to be primitive?" Lisa's expression grew serious. "History lesson, short version. 300 years ago, your Union wasn't the first alien group to find Earth. We had visitors who were less peaceful than you." The hologram changed to show an ancient battle. Strange ships attacking Earth cities. "They assumed we were easy prey," Lisa continued. "They were wrong. We fought back, won, and captured their technology. That's when we made a decision that shapes our policy to this day. Earth would advance in secret. We would watch the stars but not announce ourselves until we were ready." Jack tried to process this information. "That doesn't explain the dangerous fleet. Those ships have terrorized the outer systems for decades. What do they have to do with Earth?" Lisa stood and walked to the window. "Those ships aren't what you think they are. We've been tracking them for years. They're controlled by something far worse than pirates or rogue soldiers." "Controlled by what?" Jack asked, feeling a chill run down his spine. Before Lisa could answer, the door opened. A tall man with gray hair entered. He had the look of someone used to giving orders and having them obeyed. "I'll take it from here, Captain," he said to Lisa, who nodded and stepped aside. "Commander Wilson, I'm Director James Cooper of Earth Special Intelligence. Your arrival has accelerated our timetable, but perhaps that's for the best." Cooper sat at the head of the table. "You came looking for the dangerous fleet. 2 weeks ago, we captured all 57 ships in a coordinated operation. The crews have been detained and are being questioned." "How did you manage that?" Ben asked. "Those ships have the best stealth and weapon systems in the galaxy." Cooper smiled thinly. "Not the best, clearly. Earth has been advancing our technology in isolation for centuries. We've taken different paths than the Galactic Union, discovered principles you've overlooked." The hologram changed again, showing the moon. Parts of it seemed to open, revealing massive structures hidden beneath the surface. "This is Luna Base, our main defense headquarters," Cooper explained. "We have similar facilities throughout the solar system, all concealed from outside." "Detection?" Tom's eyes were wide. "The energy signatures I detected. Just the tip of the iceberg," Cooper said. "What you detected was what we allow to be seen." Maria leaned forward. "Director Cooper, this is fascinating. But why reveal yourselves to us now? You could have destroyed our ship or simply turned us away." Cooper's face grew grim. "Because the threat posed by the dangerous fleet is real, but not in the way you think. The ships themselves were just tools. It's who was controlling them that matters." He tapped the table and the hologram showed one of the captured ships. Inside were beings unlike any Jack had seen before, tall with gray skin that seemed to shift and change like smoke. "We call them the Void Harbingers," Cooper said. "They're not from this galaxy. They've been infiltrating various worlds, including some in your Union. The dangerous fleet was just one of their operations." Jack felt the blood drain from his face. "Are you saying there's been an alien infiltration in Union space, and no one knows?" "Exactly," Cooper replied. "We've been monitoring them for decades. They're patient, subtle, and extremely dangerous. They manipulate other species into conflicts, weaken civilizations from within, and prepare them for something worse." Anna, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. Why didn't Earth warn the Union? Cooper gave her a long look. Would you have believed us? A primitive world suddenly claiming to have discovered an invisible alien threat? Besides, we needed to understand what we were dealing with first. He stood and walked to a wall that suddenly became transparent, revealing a massive hangar below. Hundreds of ships, far more advanced than anything Jack had seen in the Union fleet, were lined up in perfect rows. This is just one of Earth's defense fleets, Cooper said. We built them not to conquer but to protect. Now we face a choice. He turned back to Jack and his team. The Void Harbingers know we've captured their ships. Soon, they'll realize their agents are missing. They'll come looking, and when they do, they won't be subtle anymore. Jack looked at the Earth fleet below, then at his team. They all showed the same mix of awe and concern he felt. What are you proposing, Director? Jack asked. An alliance, Cooper replied simply. Earth is ready to join the galactic community, but on equal terms. We need the Union's reach and resources. The Union needs our technology and knowledge of the enemy. Cooper's eyes fixed on Jack's. You came here looking for missing ships. You found a lost branch of humanity that took a different path. Now you need to decide. Will you help us convince the Union Council that Earth isn't their enemy, before the real enemy strikes? Jack thought of the Council, with their rigid rules and slow decision-making. Convincing them would be the hardest mission of his career. But looking at the Earth fleet and thinking of the mysterious Void Harbingers, he knew there was only one choice. Tell me everything you know about these Harbingers, Jack said. If we're going to face the Council together, we need the full story. Cooper nodded and pressed his hand to the table. The room darkened as a new hologram appeared, a detailed map of the galaxy with hundreds of red points blinking ominously across Union space. These, Cooper said gravely, are all the places we've detected Harbinger activity. As you can see, Commander, we have much to discuss. The underground facility beneath the Pacific Ocean was unlike anything Jack Wilson and his team had ever seen. After their meeting on the ship, Director Cooper had brought them to Earth via a transport system that seemed to bend space itself, arriving in seconds rather than hours. Now they stood in a vast chamber with a ceiling so high it vanished into shadows. The walls glowed with a soft blue light, and thousands of people worked at stations that floated in midair. Through enormous windows, they could see the dark ocean waters and strange machines moving outside. Welcome to Atlantis Base, Cooper said, watching their amazed faces. One of Earth's oldest and largest facilities. Atlantis? Maria asked. Like the myth? Cooper nodded. We borrowed the name. Seemed fitting for an underwater city. This base has been active for over 200 years, completely hidden from both Earth's general population and outside observers. Tom touched one of the floating screens, and it responded to his fingers expanding to show complex data. This technology, it's beyond anything the Union has. Different path, different results, Cooper replied. While the Union focused on expanding outward, we focused on understanding the fundamental nature of reality. Our isolation forced us to be creative. Jack was trying to absorb everything he saw. You mentioned the first aliens who came to Earth. What happened to them? Cooper led them down a long corridor lined with various artifacts behind energy fields. This is our history section. You'll find your answers here. He stopped at a display showing a damaged ship of unfamiliar design. This arrived on Earth in 2072, about 300 years ago. Inside were beings we now know were scouts for a race called the Harvesters. They didn't come in peace. Images appeared showing battles in various Earth cities. The aliens had technology far beyond what humans possessed at that time. They attacked major population centers expecting an easy victory, Cooper continued. But humans have always been good at two things: adapting and fighting back. We captured one of their ships, studied their technology, and within a year built our own versions. In just a year? Ben asked, clearly skeptical. That's impossible. For most species, yes, Cooper agreed. But humanity has a unique trait. When faced with extinction, we become Extremely motivated. Our scientists worked around the clock. Our nations put aside their differences. We reversed engineered their weapons, their shields, their drives. He led them deeper into the facility to a section that seemed older, with thicker walls and heavier security. This is where we made our most important discovery, Cooper said, placing his hand on a scanner. A massive door slid open, revealing a room with a single pedestal in the center. On it floated a small crystal that pulsed with inner light. The Harvester's ships were powered by these, Cooper explained. We call them quantum cores, but while they used them only as power sources, we discovered they were much more keys to understanding the fundamental forces of the universe. Jack stared at the crystal. And this led to your technological leap? Exactly. We learned that reality is more flexible than previously understood. Space, time, energy, they're all connected in ways the Union hasn't discovered yet. This knowledge allowed us to advance centuries beyond what would have been our normal development. Maria stepped closer to the crystal. And you kept all this secret? From your own people? Cooper's face grew serious. At first, it was necessary. The panic would have been devastating. Later, it became policy. A small group of people from all nations formed what became the Earth Defense Force, a secret organization dedicated to protecting humanity from outside threats. And from itself, Anna added quietly. Cooper nodded. Yes, human history is full of technologies being weaponized against other humans. The Council decided these discoveries were too powerful to risk another world war. As they left the secure room, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed along the corridors. Director Cooper to Command Center. Immediately, a voice announced over speakers. Cooper's face hardened. Follow me, he ordered, his pace quickening. They rushed through several security checkpoints until they reached a circular room filled with officers monitoring dozens of screens. In the center was a holographic display of the solar system. Report, Cooper demanded. A woman in a blue uniform turned to him. Sir, we've detected unusual activity at the edge of the system. The prisoners from the dangerous fleet. They're dying. All of them? Cooper asked sharply. Yes, sir, simultaneously. Their bodies are dissolving. Cooper swore under his breath. They've been activated. Bring up the quantum signature detectors. The hologram changed to show waves of energy spreading through the solar system. What are we looking at? Jack asked. Cooper's voice was grim. A quantum signal. The Void Harbingers controlling the fleet members just triggered some kind of self-destruct protocol, but the energy release is creating a beacon. A beacon for what? Ben asked. For them. Cooper pointed to the farthest edge of the display where a distortion was forming. They're coming. Jack stepped closer to the hologram. Director, it's time you told us everything. Who exactly are these Void Harbingers? Cooper looked at Jack and his team, then at his officers. After a moment, he nodded. You're right, you need to know what we're facing. He turned to his staff. Activate Protocol Omega. Full defense readiness. Then give us the room. When the officers had left, Cooper sealed the doors and activated additional security measures. The hologram shifted again, showing a galactic map with timeline markers. What I'm about to tell you is known to fewer than 100 people on Earth, Cooper began. The Void Harbingers aren't just another alien species. They're what we believe to be the remains of the very first civilization in our galaxy. Tom's eyes widened. The precursors, they're just a myth. Not a myth, Cooper said. About 12 billion years ago, a race evolved to the point where they transcended physical form. They became beings of pure energy and consciousness. For billions of years, they watched new species evolve, occasionally guiding them. The hologram showed the rise and fall of various civilizations across the galaxy. About 1 million years ago, something changed. A faction of these beings began to see younger races as threats or resources rather than children to nurture. Civil war erupted among them. The ones we call Void Harbingers lost and were banished to the space between galaxies. And now they're back, Maria said softly. Yes. They began returning about 500 years ago, taking physical form again, by possessing other species. They've been working slowly, carefully, manipulating events across the galaxy to prepare for their full return. Jack felt a chill run through him. The dangerous fleet was just one part of their plan, Cooper confirmed. They've infiltrated dozens of worlds, including several in the Union Council itself. Anna looked horrified. How do you know all this? Cooper hesitated, then pressed a sequence on the control panel. A hidden door opened in the wall of the command center. From it emerged a tall, thin being that glowed with soft light. Because, Cooper said, we have allies from the other faction. Meet Guardian, one of the original precursors who has been helping Earth prepare for this moment. The glowing being nodded to them. When it spoke, the voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. We have watched your people for millennia, Guardian said. Of all the young races, humans showed the most potential, adaptable, creative, resilient. When we detected the return of our fallen brethren, we knew humanity would be crucial in the coming conflict. Jack stared at the being, struggling to process everything. Why Earth? Why not warn the whole galaxy? The Harbingers have agents everywhere, Guardian explained. Open warning would have triggered their plans before we were ready. Earth was isolated enough to develop in secret, yet resourceful enough to advance quickly once guided. Cooper turned, back to the hologram, which now showed the distortion growing at the edge of the solar system. And now the moment we've prepared for has arrived sooner than expected. The Harbingers know we've captured their agents. They're coming in force. What do we do? Jack asked. You must return to the Union, Guardian said. Warn them. Show them the truth. Earth cannot stand alone against what is coming. Cooper nodded, in agreement. We've prepared for this day, Commander Wilson. But our plans required more time. Now we need the Union's help, just as they need ours. Jack looked at his team. They all showed determination despite their shock. We'll help, Jack promised. But the Council won't believe us without proof. Cooper smiled grimly. Oh, we'll give you proof. Guardian, prepare the memory crystal. As the glowing being moved to a console, Cooper turned back to Jack. Commander, you're about to become the messenger of the most important news in galactic history. The question is, will the Union listen before it's too late? Red alert sirens wailed throughout Atlanta space. Commander Jack Wilson watched as Earth's defense personnel moved with practiced efficiency, their faces set with determination rather than panic. Director Cooper stood at the center of the command room, issuing orders in a calm, steady voice despite the crisis unfolding. All defense platforms to active status. Deploy the shield network around the inner system. Prepare evacuation protocols for civilian outposts beyond Mars. Cooper turned to a large screen showing Earth's hidden fleet mobilizing from bases on the Moon, Mars, and various asteroid installations. Jack had never seen such a coordinated response, not even in the most elite Union forces. These people had trained for this moment for generations. Guardian, the luminous precursor being, floated beside Cooper, its light pulsing with urgency. The dimensional tear is growing faster than predicted. We have less than 6 hours before the first wave arrives. Cooper nodded grimly. Then we stick to the plan. Commander Wilson and his team need to leave immediately. He faced Jack. Your mission is now the most important one in human history. You must convince the Union Council to send help. Jack felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. I'll need something more than just my word. The Council won't believe this without proof. You'll have it, Cooper assured him. He held out a small crystal similar to the one they had seen earlier, but this one glowed with a deep purple light. This memory crystal contains everything. Our history, evidence of the Harbingers' infiltration and data on their weaknesses. Guardian helped us prepare it. Guardian moved closer. The crystal also carries my energy signature. The Council has old records of my kind. They will recognize its authenticity. Tom examined the crystal without touching it. How do we access the information? It will interface with any Union computer system, Guardian explained. But be warned, the Harbingers have agents in the Council. They will try to stop you from presenting this evidence. Ben, ever the security chief, frowned. How will we know who to trust? You won't, Cooper said bluntly. That's what makes this so dangerous. The Harbingers can assume almost perfect copies of whoever they possess, but they cannot replicate quantum brain patterns. This device, he handed Jack a small scanner, will help you identify them. It's crude but effective at close range. Maria looked at the scanner with scientific interest. How does it work? It detects the subtle energy distortions around possessed individuals, Guardian answered. The readings are faint but unmistakable if you know what to look for. Anna, who had been studying the tactical displays, turned to them with concern. Even if we convince the Council, can their ships get here in time? The tear is already forming. Cooper exchanged looks with Guardian before answering. No. Union. Ships are too slow. But once you show them the evidence, give them these coordinates. He handed Jack a data chip. It's the location of a hidden Earth outpost near the Council homeworld. We have ships there ready to transport their forces. You have bases near the Council? Jack asked, shocked. How long have you been operating in Union space? 70 years, Cooper admitted. We needed to monitor the Harbingers' movements. Our bases are small, automated, and completely cloaked. Before Jack could respond, the entire facility shook violently. Lights flickered and several consoles erupted in sparks. Status report, Cooper demanded. An officer's voice came through, the speakers tight with tension. Sir, the Void Harbingers have launched an attack on our outer system defenses. They've somehow accelerated their arrival. The Jupiter outpost is under heavy fire. Cooper swore under his breath. Show me. The main screen changed to display Jupiter and its moons. Dark ships with strange, shifting shapes were pouring through a tear in space near the giant planet. Earth's defense platforms were firing back, but several had already gone dark. They're not supposed to have this kind of firepower yet, Cooper said, his composure slipping for the first time. Something's wrong. Guardian's light flickered anxiously. They've evolved their technology beyond our predictions. This changes everything. Jack stepped forward. We need to leave now. Every minute counts. Cooper nodded sharply. Captain Miller will take you back to your ship. We've upgraded its engines and added some of our shield technology. It should get you to the Council faster than any Union vessel. Lisa Miller appeared at the doorway, her uniform now bearing additional combat gear. Your ship is ready, Commander. We need to move quickly. As they prepared to leave, Guardian approached Jack. Commander Wilson, there is one more thing you must know. The being's light dimmed to a somber glow. The Harbingers aren't just invaders. They're harvesters of consciousness. They don't just kill their victims. They absorb them. Every being they take makes them stronger. Jack felt cold at this revelation. Is there any way to free those who've been taken? No, Guardian said sadly. Once absorbed, consciousness cannot be restored. That's why we must stop them here now, before they claim more worlds. Another explosion rocked the base, closer this time. Warning lights flashed across the command center. They've broken through the outer defenses, someone shouted. Multiple hostiles approaching Earth orbit. Cooper turned to Jack and his team. Go. We'll hold them here as long as we can. Jack hesitated. Director, your forces are outmatched. Let us help. Cooper shook his head firmly. Your mission is more important than any battle here. If the Union doesn't join this fight, the entire galaxy will fall. He extended his hand. Good luck, Commander. Jack clasped Cooper's hand, then turned to his team. Let's move. They followed Captain Miller through corridors now filled with rushing personnel and the distant sounds of battle. Emergency lights cast everything in a red glow as they hurried toward the transport bay. The situation at Jupiter is worse than they're admitting, Miller told them as they ran. Those ships, they're unlike anything we've faced in our simulations. It's like they're adapting to our weapons in real time. They reached the bay where their upgraded scout ship waited. It now bore subtle reinforcements and new equipment that hummed with power. The coordinates for the Union Council and our hidden base are already programmed in, Miller explained as they boarded. The ship knows what to do, just don't override the navigation system. As Jack's team strapped in, Miller paused at the doorway. Commander, if you don't succeed, we will. Jack promised. Miller nodded once, then sealed the hatch. The ship lifted off, its new engines barely making a sound. Through the viewports, they could see Earth's defense fleet engaging the first wave of Harbinger vessels. Energy weapons lit up the space around the planet, beautiful and terrible. "Breaking orbit," Tom announced from the pilot's seat. "New engines responding perfectly. We'll reach Union space in under 40 hours. As they accelerated away from Earth, a massive explosion bloomed near the moon. One of Earth's largest defense platforms had detonated, taking several Harbinger ships with it. "They're sacrificing their outer defenses," Ben observed grimly. "Buying us time." Jack clutched the memory crystal, feeling its weight both physical and symbolic. "And we can't waste it. Full speed to the Council." The ship surged forward, its enhanced engines pushing it faster than any Union vessel. Behind them, the battle for Earth raged, while ahead lay an equally dangerous mission, convincing a skeptical council that the galaxy's greatest threat had returned, and that humanity's secret strength might be their only hope for survival. They cleared the solar system. Jack looked one last time at the brilliant blue planet now surrounded by the flashes of battle. "Hold on, Earth," he whispered. "We'll bring back help." The Galactic Union Council chamber was impressive by any standard. A vast dome with seats for representatives from over 500 worlds arranged in rising tiers. Ornate pillars of rare metals supported the ceiling, which displayed a perfect, holographic map of the known galaxy. Normally, Jack Wilson would have felt honored to stand at the speaker's podium, but today he only felt urgency. "Members of the Council," Jack began, his voice steady despite his exhaustion. 40 hours of high-speed travel had left him and his team drained, but there was no time to rest. "I come before you with information of critical importance to the security of all our worlds." The head counselor, an elderly being from the ancient Zell civilization, leaned forward. "Commander Wilson, you were not authorized to visit Earth, yet you return with wild claims of advanced human technology and invisible invaders. The Council requires more than just your word." Jack nodded. "I understand, Counselor." He placed Guardian's memory crystal on the display panel beside him. "This contains all the evidence we've gathered." The crystal pulsed with purple light, and the holographic display above changed to show images of Earth's hidden fleet, the captured dangerous ships, and finally, the horrifying footage of the Void Harbinger's attack on Jupiter. Murmurs spread through the chamber as counselors leaned forward, some in disbelief, others in growing alarm. "This cannot be real," said a representative from the Mer Collective. "Earth is a primitive world. These images must be fabricated." Tom stepped forward. "The crystal contains verification codes and quantum signatures that cannot be faked." "The evidence is genuine," Anna added. "We've included sensor data from our own ship. Earth has been hiding their true technological development for centuries." "But why?" asked another counselor. "Why would humans deceive the galaxy for so long?" "Because they were preparing," Jack explained. "Earth was visited by hostile aliens long before the Union made contact. They chose isolation and secrecy as their protection while they advanced their technology." Maria activated another section of the crystal's data. "The Void Harbingers have been infiltrating worlds across the galaxy. We have evidence of their agents in multiple systems, including—" She was interrupted by a loud alarm. Red lights flashed throughout the chamber. "The Council is under attack," shouted a security officer. "Multiple ships of unknown design have appeared in orbit." Jack's heart sank. "They followed us. The Harbingers must have tracked our ship." Ben quickly accessed the external camera feeds on a nearby console. The screen showed dark, shifting vessels surrounding the Council station. They were identical to the ships attacking Earth. "The Void Harbingers are here," Jack announced grimly. "Everything we've told you is about to be proven true in the worst possible way." The head counselor stood, finally showing real concern. "Activate. All defenses, call in the Union fleet." "There's no time," Jack said, pulling out the data chip Cooper had given him. "But there is another option." He inserted the chip into the console. The display changed to show coordinates not far from the Council station. Earth has maintained hidden outposts throughout Union space. There's one nearby with ships that can help us. Many counselors looked outraged at this revelation, but the head counselor raised his hand for silence. You're saying Earth has been operating covertly in our territory? Yes, Jack admitted. To monitor the Harbinger threat, Director Cooper gave me authorization codes to activate their defense fleet. The chamber shook as the first attacks hit the station's shields. Our defenses won't hold for long against weapons of that caliber, a military advisor warned. The head counselor looked at Jack, indecision clear in his ancient eyes. Then another explosion rocked the station, stronger than before. Do it, the counselor ordered. Activate the Earth fleet. Jack entered the codes Cooper had provided. For several tense seconds, nothing happened. Then the display showed movement at the coordinates, dozens of ships appearing suddenly as their cloaking systems deactivated. This is Admiral Rick Taylor, of Earth Defense Force, came a voice over the communication system. We're moving to engage the hostile forces. Council station, prepare for evacuation if necessary. The Earth ship streaked toward the Harbinger vessels, moving with incredible speed and precision. Their weapons, unlike anything the Council had seen before, cut through the enemy's defenses with surprising effectiveness. Those ships, the military advisor gasped. The energy readings, they're using technology similar to the dangerous fleet but far more advanced. Jack nodded. Earth didn't just study the alien technology they captured, they improved it. They've been preparing for this fight for centuries. On the display, they watched as Admiral Taylor's forces formed a protective barrier around the Council station, engaging the Harbinger ships. The Earth vessels moved in complex patterns, somehow predicting the enemy's actions before they occurred. They're using quantum predictive algorithms, Tom explained, studying the tactical displays. Their ship's computers are calculating probable moves seconds before the Harbingers make them. Another Earth vessel, larger than the others, moved into position above the station. Council station. This is the EDF Defender, a new voice announced. We're extending our shield perimeter to cover your position. Stand by. A shimmer of energy flowed from the Earth ship, enveloping the Council station. The next Harbinger attack hit this new shield and dissipated harmlessly. The head counselor turned to Jack, amazement replacing his earlier skepticism. It seems we have greatly underestimated our human neighbors. There's no time for politics now, Jack urged. Earth is under heavy attack. They need reinforcements immediately. The counselor nodded and addressed the chamber. By emergency powers, I authorize full military cooperation with Earth forces. All available Union ships are to prepare for immediate deployment to the Sol system. As the council members rushed to implement these orders, Admiral Taylor's face appeared on the main screen. Behind him, the battle continued to rage, but the tide was turning as more Earth ships arrived. Commander Wilson, Taylor said, recognizing Jack. Good work getting the Council's cooperation. We've contained the situation here, but Earth is facing the main Harbinger fleet. The dimensional tear near Jupiter has widened. Hundreds of enemy ships are pouring through. Jack stepped closer to the screen. The Union fleet is preparing to assist, Admiral, but their ships are slower than yours. Taylor nodded. We've anticipated that. Once we secure this area, we'll transport as many Union ships as we can using our jump technology. It won't be comfortable for your troops, but it will get them to Earth within hours instead of days. The head counselor joined Jack. Admiral Taylor, the Union Council officially recognizes Earth as a sovereign power and ally in this conflict. We request a formal meeting once this crisis is contained. Taylor allowed a small smile. Looking forward to it, Counselor. Been a long time coming. His expression turned serious again. But first we have a war to win. As the Earth ships continued to push back the Harbinger forces, Jack turned to his team. Their mission had succeeded against incredible odds. The alliance that should have formed centuries ago was finally taking shape. Forced by necessity, forged in battle. Cooper was right, Jack said quietly. Humanity isn't just ready to join the galactic community. They might be the ones who save it. On the display, Union ships were already moving into formation alongside their new Earth allies. The combined fleet prepared to jump to the Sol system, where the fate of not just Earth but the entire galaxy would be decided. The secret was out. Earth had risen.